Okay, let's get started. This is not financial advice. This is just the way I'm looking at the market, and it's an interesting market at the moment. So, welcome to the regulars that tune in. Yeah, very interesting day last night. So, what I wanted to actually start with, because it's playing out sort of right now, is we're getting a fair bit of divergence at the moment. And what I've been looking at this morning was when this came down quite quickly. I was looking for the bounce off the 200 to see where that went, but what we've got forming here is on Bitcoin, obviously. We've got a bit of a W pattern forming. I wouldn't say it's the strongest one I've seen, so I don't know that it'll play out, but basically that's your W. This is the retest. Now, that's not as good a retest as I would normally like to see, but it was looking weak when it was doing it as well. So generally your retest will be on kind of lower volume for the most part, not always. So yeah, it's an interesting one. We also had kind of a W pattern down here as well. And then that was a pretty good retest, really. Once we took off from there and saw a bit of volume coming through, that was a pretty likely play to the upside. It's not necessarily that it has to be a W as such. Like you can have triple bottoms and all that sort of stuff playing out a very similar scenario. The key is it's a reversal pattern. So you're doing some consolidation around the lows here. You're getting volume, but it's not following through in any particular direction. And then you get essentially a breakout in one direction. And to be honest with you, this here was probably the proper breakout and retest just because of the wick here. And that would have proofed out pretty well for that move too. So once we properly broke above, it's actually gone a little bit higher. Now, that combined with the divergences that we're seeing suggests to me that it's probably going to roll over here with this will be effectively a double top. We might see a big W pattern come in. It would kind of make sense if we had something like this. We come down, we hit the 800 on the 5 minute, come back into this region here, and then move down further. That's certainly something I'll be on the lookout for. Yeah, it's just something to keep in mind, I guess. We have cleaned up a lot of the liquidation levels as well. So that's on the 24-hour. Just go. 3 days probably giving the most insight at the moment. You can see there we cleaned up all that and then reversed to get all the people that were going long in that region. Little surprised we didn't tap into that more. We got the wick there, but yeah, it didn't go as high as I thought it might. As you can see, there's not a lot on the 1 week. to the downside compared to the upside. So yeah, excuse me. If we do zoom out, hang on a sec, I'll just check yeah, so we could be coming back into this area here. Just to swipe that. What's that? That'll be at about 61,950-ish. So potentially coming back into this sort of zone here, which is kind of proofs out, but yeah, it would proof out for this W pattern here, and then some. Kind of got a head and shoulders forming here as well. Not a big proponent of head and shoulders, but that's reasonably clear reversal sign as well. So probably some short-term downside. At least short-term anyway. Potentially longer, but don't want to predict too far out in the future on this sort of time frame. What I was going to do... So just get rid of CME. Bitcoin's very much following the stock market at the moment, as you can see from that. Get rid of that. So we just look at the bear chart. We've kind of tapped into this zone here, so that's obviously acting as resistance. There's this general area has a fair bit of trading through it, so it kind of makes sense that it would pause here and come back. We never really got like this. This is a pretty good reversal pattern, more like a kind of an M-shaped W, but it would make sense if we came back down here and bounced off that same 61,900 level. So if we fall straight through that, then I'd actually be expecting it to come back down to about the 58 mark. I think that would be the target from there, because I don't think it makes sense for it to turn around once it breaks through here. I think that area there is the area for a lower high. Sorry, higher low. But just another divergence that we got here too on the CCI. So just keep that in mind, that downside is probably more likely in the shorter term, as in the next couple of days. So go back. I don't normally go short to long-term timeframes, but I think this one was just setting up that way. This is interesting in that we're getting a little bit of global liquidity pump happening. Still haven't got any sort of real confirmation that the big guys are back in the market looking for longs. And we are below the bottom of the Gaussian channel. We did hit the 100 EMA. So is that the 100? That's the 20 now. I think I changed that, didn't I? Yeah, sorry, we did hit the 20 EMA. 20 on the daily can provide some pretty good points of turnaround and resistance, dynamic support and resistance. So just be aware of that. And we're well below the bottom level of that high cycle indicator. Now, the thing that concerns me really. Yes, the global economy is very shaky at the moment. And we've never really, sorry, I should have my coffee this morning. We've never really had Bitcoin go through a proper financial crisis. And that is a little concerning in that in low liquidity environments and when the liquidity in the overall system and when risk off is apparent, Bitcoin seems to follow or even lead the rest of the markets. So where I'm going with that is if we have a global financial meltdown for whatever reason, don't think that Bitcoin is necessarily going to go to the moon. The especially with big players in the market now, they don't care what the asset is. They're going to de-risk and sell out of anything that's even remotely speculative. Even some of their longer term stuff, they will de-risk and get out of the market. So I guess that's just a bit of a warning to, if there is signs that the general market is going to really break through big lows and put in some big red numbers, then Bitcoin's probably going to do the same. And it's only at the point where the government starts pumping money into the system that I would expect that to change. And even then, in a global financial crisis, the money that gets injected into that system may not hit the same way it did during COVID. So just, I guess, keep that in mind, that the cycles might be broken. And they probably will break if there is a global financial issue. Just a bit of a warning there. But yeah, this daily candle's not looking super strong at the moment. I mean, Bitcoin can do this. Could just reverse for a bit, put in another higher low somewhere around here. Or I still think we don't go far without reclaiming this wick here. That 200 EMA is definitely a target. And putting that together with the shorter time frame divergences, yeah, it might not be too long before it tries to take it either. Okay, just quick look at NASDAQ is still going sideways, so it looks like we're getting a pullback in time on the NASDAQ, which kind of plays in with that theory that whatever correction this is going to potentially be quite shallow. If we get a run up in the market, so lower oil, a bit of a run up towards the end of the year and towards the US election in particular. SPY is pretty similar. The S&P 500, sorry. Technically, equal weight got slammed. That's interesting. Suggests a bit more money, given that we haven't gone up on the Mag 7, I don't think, anyway. Oh, we did go up a little bit. The money's come back into the Mag 7. It's come out of everything else. IWM, yeah. So money's, funnily enough, flowing out of industrials, small caps, equal weight. So even the big guys in the S&P 500 that aren't super big, it's coming out of them and going into those Mag 7 again by the look of it. It's definitely looking more and more like a distribution zone on the big S&P 500 and Nasdaq. Dollar, interesting. Got a bit of support off the 20 EMA and the gas in channel there, so that's potentially going up higher. It's the wrong VIX. I've got to use that. VIX looks like it's bottoming again here. Yeah, that VIX is due for a spike, hey? Like, there's going to be something soon. It's just pick and when is stupid hard. This isn't looking great for treasuries. Bonds. Sorry, get rid of that. Still in this channel. Little bit of an uptick. I just want to see a breakout either way on these freaking bond channels. High yields dropping quite a bit. Let's have a quick look at the skew. Skew's jumped a little. Interesting. Could mean we've sort of bottomed or very close to bottoming. Copper trying to turn around. A little bit of volume. Whoa. Shit. Sorry, tired today. It needs to get past these two moving averages here, and particularly even that level there for it to go bullish, but I still think it's headed to the $4.20-ish kind of area. To be honest with you, probably down into here somewhere. 412. Gold's finding a little bit of support here, which is good. Needs to kind of break this structure though. We need to get through these moving averages at least, potentially come up to this sort of level, come back down to where we are at the moment, retest those EMAs and confirm the trend reversal. Silver looking a bit better. Gold. How's the Aussie dollar going? Yeah, consolidating. Coiling, ready for breakout. M1 money supply is up a little. M2 is up a little. 2-year, 10-year, interesting. Okay, so I mean, there seems to be some conviction here in terms of moving from the shorter duration that was dead flat into the longer duration bonds. And these are actually increasing. It's not just these are flat and the 2 years moving down. It's interesting. Percentage of stocks above the 50-day moving average is had a bad day. Yeah, we're sort of back into this downtrend here, so not expecting much in the way of the markets going much higher in the near term. Oil has pumped as well. Okay, so that explains it a little bit, particularly all the smaller stocks and stuff that are more affected by the oil price. They are having a bad day. Now, the 800 EMA here is going to be interesting. So around this 84 level, if we do clear that, don't know that there'll be much resistance at this point, to be honest. I think we'd probably head more up to about the $90 mark. The reason I say that is it's just too close. I think there's more of a resistance level at that point there. And then up around here. Yeah, okay. So oil's probably having a pretty big effect at the moment. Just going to have a quick look at, so Sol's struggling as well a little bit into that 50 EMA. Stochastic momentum's high, so we are in bullish control zone, but there's no real big interest coming through yet. It is suggesting slightly bullish, but the other indicators, there's no real indication here that it's a great buying opportunity for Sol. Let's not worry about too many of these. Phantom struggling. ETH. So ETH's getting rejected by the 50 and the 20 at the moment. And it actually tapped into that most traded zone level. So if we push through this, excuse me again. If we push through this, it will suggest we probably head up to, this sort of region here, the 38 mark. Sorry, 3800 mark on ETH. But it really has to have a closure above 3,500, really. And just have a quick look. Bitcoin dominance, ETH dominance. Nothing to really write home about there. The one. So this indicator down here is quite useful on even the 1 hour and the 4 hour. It's already signaled a take profit. The entry was, depends how you want to use this one, but I probably would have entered off that bar there. Yeah, it's suggesting caution at the moment, I would say. Look, it's not 100% accurate either, so just be careful. But it can be good for confluence, I think. Yeah, it looks like stochastic momentum on the hourly, as well as all the other momentums, are showing decent divergences. So that would sum up my video. It was basically short-term downside. If oil keeps going up, probably more downside. So first target for Bitcoin, it needs to really bounce somewhere around the 62K mark. If we go lower, then it's going to be around, in my opinion, there's a small chance of a bounce at about the 60,800, 60,900 mark. But I suspect that will be a short-lived bounce, and we at least retest the 58.5 sort of area. If we break that, then I think we definitely go into low 50s. All right. That'll do for today. Have a good one.